Netflix's claim that the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson fight was the most streamed sporting event ever. Short, link-free summary. The claim and headline numbers. Netflix announced the November 15, 2024 Paul Tyson card as the most streamed sporting event to date on streaming platforms. Key figures reported by Netflix included a peak of tens of millions of concurrent streams globally, tens of millions of households tuning in, and an average global live audience in the triple-digit millions when combining different viewing metrics. Why those numbers matter? This event was Netflix's first large-scale live sports broadcast, and it reached an audience size that put it ahead of previous streaming-first sporting broadcasts. That's notable because it demonstrates how major streaming platforms can compete with traditional live broadcasters for big, global live audience events. The co-main, Katie Taylor vs. Amanda Serrano, was also highlighted as an exceptionally large audience for a women's professional sports event, with Netflix calling it the most-watched women's pro sports broadcast in U.S. history by their metrics. Context and comparisons. While Netflix framed the match as a streaming record breaker, it's important to understand that comparisons depend heavily on which metric you use: peak concurrent viewers, average minute audience, total households reached, etc. Different organizations and past events have sometimes used different definitions, so most streamed can mean different things depending on the measurement. The fight's figures were larger than previously reported peaks for other major streamed events, but the event is still not comparable to the highest all-time global sports audiences, for example, FIFA World Cup finals or some Olympic global tallies, which are measured differently and often include linear TV reach in many territories. Technical issues and backlash. Despite immense viewership, many viewers reported buffering, outages, and quality problems during the live stream. These technical problems were widely noted and generated user complaints. The service issues prompted legal action in some places and public criticism, because a number of paying viewers expected a flawless live experience and many experienced interruptions. What it means for streaming and sports. The event showed both the potential and the risks for streaming platforms moving into live sports. Platforms can attract huge audiences and bring new fans, but live sports demand extremely robust delivery infrastructure and flawless execution to avoid customer dissatisfaction and legal exposure. It also signaled growing appetite for non-traditional boxing matches promoted via social media personalities and cross-platform marketing, which can drive massive, immediate attention. Short summary bullets. Netflix called Paul vs. Tyson the most streamed sporting event ever on streaming platforms. Reported metrics: very large peak concurrent streams and hundreds of millions in combined audience measures, depending on metric used. Co-main event set big records for a women's boxing broadcast by the platform's metrics. Notable technical problems and user complaints followed the stream. The event is a milestone for streaming platforms entering live sports, but most streamed depends on which measurement you choose.